And there we go. Hey, everyone. It's 2:30 p.m. It's Wednesday afternoon. You're watching Innovation Fika with me, Donny, here live from Stockholm, Sweden, broadcast from, well, I'm at KTH, in KTH campus, main campus in Stockholm, Sweden. And today, alone, because my guest is on the link from the other side of Sweden, from Gothenburg, but that's okay. As you all know, let's see, we're live now. We don't need the banner on going live anymore. So we take that away. We can put the other one on saying that welcome to episode number 74 of my Innovation Fika. Episode 74. Imagine that. 74 episodes of Innovation Fika. The Wednesday afternoon coffee break where you spend 30 minutes with me and a guest where we talk about interesting things and you get to answer questions and just be a part of the whole broadcasting. So we're live on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook and Unit sometimes as well. So, pick the platform of your choice. Anybody tuning in live now, make sure to just say hi in the comments, ask us things all through the broadcast. But for now, just say hi, where you're from, and we can get started. All of these broadcasts are recorded and saved on YouTube. So follow me on YouTube. Follow me on LinkedIn as well. I post almost daily on LinkedIn a new post about innovation, startups, entrepreneurship, inspiration, and such. And then all of the written posts are then saved on Medium. So check out my Medium account as well, Donny S. Ligonis on Medium, because I save all of the written content there. So follow me on Medium and LinkedIn and YouTube or wherever you want to follow me. Or don't follow me at all, but make sure to catch this show every Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. So enough about me, and it's time to introduce today's fantastic guest. So welcome into the studio, Charlotta Oom. Welcome into the studio. Hi, how nice to see you here.
Thank you so much.
Guys, my great pleasure. I'm so happy that you decided and wanted to join in. So Charlotta Oom, when I've been writing about you before this, we're going to talk about you're a leadership coach and you're a public speaker and lots of other things. And we started talking about this whole sort of self-leadership thing that we will get back to. But I will ask you the first question that I ask everybody. Charlotta, who are you and what do you do?
Mm-hmm. I work about 4 days a week. I work as a people and culture partner at a tech company here in Lindholmen called Sensact, working with software in self-driving cars, in Volvo cars and in Polestar. Okay. So that's what I do. And I have some other assignments as well, where I work as a coach to different managers. And I work with team building and leadership in different kind of companies, which I love. And my background is that I've been working a lot with marketing, communication, sales. I really enjoy doing business. And I love to have the combination with people in business.
Yeah, cool. And how did you get started with this self-leadership thing? How do you get into that?
I started a few years ago. I switched a little from the marketing and sales side and started as a leadership consultant. And then I realized that these questions have always been very interesting to me. The older I get, the more interesting it gets. And I think I've had quite a bumpy road, me myself, for the last years. I had a really more straightforward career until 2017, when I actually got dismissed twice during a year, which was extremely tough, and for very different kind of reasons. And then I started as a leadership consultant at a company that I just loved, and I felt that finally I found myself, and this is what I want to do. And then after not even 2 years, the pandemic came. So I actually got dismissed for a third time in 3 years. So in my work life, I've been going through kind of tough times. And I think that's when you start to think about some extra about who am I, where do I want to go, where do I belong, what do I like, what do I don't like, and so on. And so these questions are just getting more and more interesting to me.
Yeah. And when you talk about self leadership, can we define that somehow? The subject or how we define it.
It's about to having a good understanding of who am I and where do I want to go, and also be aware of my strengths and my weaknesses.
Yeah, I think that was good, short, and very concise. But would you say that it has, like, the interest for this has increased the last? It might be a leading question here, considering the pandemic. But do you feel that there's a bigger awareness or a bigger need? Do you feel that there's a bigger need for these kind of questions now than it was 10 years ago?
Yeah, sort of a leading question, Donnie. But I think, of course, during the pandemic, a lot of things happened. And what I did in the beginning of pandemic, I got dismissed. And then I started as a consultant at a fantastic organization, TRR, Trygghetsrådet, where I got a lot of clients who just got dismissed from their jobs. And that was in the beginning of the pandemic. And I really saw how important everything around self-leadership was, because all of a sudden I met almost 100. I had 96 clients, and I had to meet all of them in their own kitchen or their own living room or at home. We only met digital, and losing their jobs. So then I had to work a lot with self-leadership. So I think definitely it's been a more and more important question, for sure.
I think that, as you say as well, what's it called in the US? Everybody's been leaving their jobs as well, and trying, refinding themselves and going sort of, hey, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. It's called something, the big leave or something like that. Thousands of people have left their jobs and are reevaluating their lives.
The Big Resignation.
Yeah, and trying to figure out what they actually want, because suddenly they got this pause in life, which usually you don't get because you just work. But now suddenly the pandemic forced us to take like a pause from everything and take a step back. And many people then started reflecting on themselves and their lives and everything like that. And as you just what you said, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Is this what I want to do? That's the other kinds of questions.
Yeah.
So how do you actually work with this? You work as a consultant with companies or with people, individuals? How do you work?
So I work both with teams, but also with individuals. So when I coach an individual, often a manager, but not always a manager, I start with these questions. Who are you for real? And who do you want to be? And I often refer to, when I meet people, I often refer to a book or a pod. It's called 5 Regrets of the Dying, which I think is really, really interesting to dig into, from a woman, Bronnie Ware. And I think that these 5 regrets of dying are really, 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 really interesting to dig into. And it's very much about who am I. And one of these 5 regrets were that I wish that I had lived a life true to myself, not to others. Yeah. And also one of the others is that I wish that I had been more brave to be more, to allow myself to be more happy.
Mm-hmm. We could spend the rest of the afternoon talking about this easily. But let's start with that last thing there, because you're saying that people don't allow themselves to be happy, or what is it that actually you're saying there?
Very often I meet people who have ended up somehow, and they're between like 35 and 60 years old, and all of a sudden start to think about who am I actually, and why am I in this place in my life right now? And pretty often I meet people who have thought that they've had so many expectations from like their mother or father or grandparents or other people, and not really thinking, but who am I and what do I want? And that's so extremely important. A few years ago, I met a man, and when we had a few meetings, I started to realize that he didn't really like his summer vacations, because he didn't really like where he was during the summers, because he was at a summer house at a place that his wife loved. She loved being there at this place, kind of crowded, a lot of people, a lot of social things going on during the summer. And it started with, he was thinking about where he was working and if he really enjoyed it or not. And then when looking at his whole life, he also realized that I'm really not lucky where I am. I'm not happy where I am during the summers, because I'm in a place where actually my wife is more happy than I am. So to be true to yourself and really ask yourself, what do I want for real?
Mm-hmm. But that can also lead to some very big changes, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
man ended up with, he still has the summer house with his wife. He's still married and has the summer house. But he also actually has a small cottage together with his brother, where he can be totally alone, wearing the same shorts the whole summer, and go fishing and what he likes.
Well, with no getting to that story, but one could imagine, as you started the story, that could have gone any which way, after having this kind of, life-altering thing. But and what happened? But the question then, what happens then when you meet somebody and you start speaking to them, and then in discussions with them with you as a coach, they realize that when they reevaluate and ask themselves the questions, and they come into this realization. I mean, what happens then? I mean, if they say, "Oh, damn it, I need to do this," which it might be a huge change. What happens then?
Big things can happen. I had a client not so long ago that found out that he had been at the company for ages. And he was very disappointed with a lot of things. And he didn't like the management, and he didn't like his manager, and so on. And so he after a few meetings, he decided to leave the company. And then he got another job, and it's great. So what I do as a coach, I ask a lot of questions. Yeah. Because if you have the answers inside you, and that's interesting. To lead people to realize their own thoughts.
But and also think that, we suppress some things that we have the answers inside us. It's just a matter of actually having the courage of actually answering the questions honestly and truthfully, and letting yourself answer what you actually feel about things, which then again, but that's, there's always, but okay, here's another question then. But there's always a balance, because you can't just always do what you want yourself. You can't just sort of completely, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to divorce my wife, and I hate my kids and leave them. You can't, it's that. So, there has to be, the balance, right? Or.
Of course. Wait, in all your relations, wherever you are, no matter if it's private life or work life, of course, you have to adjust to other people. But still, I often meet people who have sort of sometimes forgotten what they actually themselves want. But of course, you have to adjust.
That's really interesting, because this is an analogy then, because I work with innovation and new thinking, and when I work with companies, it always comes down to the people, because ideas don't innovate themselves. People innovate ideas. So I always work with people as well. And this is what you just said now is super, super interesting, because when I talk about organizations, many of them, most organizations start out with a very sort of strong cause. We want to change something. We want to build something. We want to achieve something. And then along the way, they become this delivery unit or whatever they are delivering and selling. And they sort of kind of, as an organization, they forget their core purpose, why they actually started. And that's, when they sort of lose track of reinventing themselves or what, because they are their product kind of thing. And I can hear the same thing. And it's just an interesting sort of analogy when you talked about, that we forget what we actually believed in or what we were actually about, because we become where we are, kind of thing. And I've been here we talked about before the broadcast. I've been here for 13 years. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm questioning my choices in any way. I'm just saying it's like, wow, 13 years passes quite quickly, you know. For some people, it's like sort of, oh, damn it, what have I been doing for 13 years?
Yeah.
On my hand, I feel kind of comfortable with my 13 years. I'm cool with that. No problem at all.
Sometimes it can be very interesting just to think about. If I knew that I had one more healthy year of my life, but in a year it will end, and I have to work 40 hours per week, what would I like to do then? That's an interesting question.
And I'm not going to start thinking about your questions, because then I'll be contemplating that right now. I need to ask you more questions. And everybody online as well. Make sure to ask. You have the coach online here, so ask her questions about self-leadership and anything else in the realm of that. So make good use of our last 15 minutes here when we're talking about this self-leadership thing. Sorry, self-leadership thing. That sounded derogatory. I don't mean it like that. I think it's very, very interesting. And what about, do you see any difference between young people and like young people today? Do you see like a shift? Because we talk a lot about the young generation today, that in some parts they are more delusionized, and they don't have the same any sort of things that you've seen amongst young people regarding this.
But I think that young people are better at actually listening to themselves, and not so. When I meet older people, I think they have been listening very much sometimes to their parents or grandparents who told them what to think and how to act and what to become.
Yeah.
So I think that young people overall are better at following their heart. Yeah. And also, it's a huge difference today when talking to young people. Most people, they talk about they want to work with something making a difference for real, and that's also a big difference compared to when I started working, I think.
Yeah, but I know that I can see that as well, because I mean, back when I started working, I'm probably a lot older than you are. It was
I'm
then
48.
I'm a lot older than you are. Even though I wasn't. I mean, I was always like the black sheep kind of person, not doing what I was supposed to do. But it was a lot more about, do this career, go there, and things like that. And today, when I meet people there at KTH Innovation as well, at KTH, I think they're basically they're much more sort of value driven and purpose driven, and they want to fix something and they want to achieve something, not only for themselves, as in I want to fill my wallet, but they actually want to, I want to help fix the world, and I want to. There's a much stronger purpose in doing what they feel is important, more than just, oh, I need a job so I can support a family, and I can have kids, and I can do the whole sort of. And then when I'm 65, I get the gold watch, and then I'm going to retire, and then we're going to go to Spain, and that kind of linear kind of thing, which has kind of changed a lot. I feel,
which is fantastic, I think.
Yes, I think it's incredible. I mean, I encourage the lifelong learning as well for everyone. I don't think that I know that we are not there still, but the 12 to 15 years of school, and then another 4 years of university, and then you have to start working, and then you do that for 45 years, and then you quit. Whereas I see the whole life as a mixture of trial and error sometimes, and learning and education, and sometimes I work with something and then I learn something new, and then I try that, and it's a constant. We constantly evolve.
Yeah, I had two clients at the same time once, and they both had got dismissed from their job. And the man, he was 48 years old, and when I met him from the beginning, he was like, I've been at this company that I just got dismissed from for more than 20 years, and now getting old. I'm 48. You're reading about how people, when they turn 40, they are too old. So who would like me? And I went to Chalmers ages ago. It doesn't even count anymore. So, well, I don't know actually what to do. Who would like me? And then at the same day, I've met another woman, and she was 62, and she was in the exact same situation as him. with a complete different mindset. And of course, she had done more her crisis reaction before him, but still, she was more like, I'm only 62 years old, and I have worked so long for this company, and I feel that I have so much to give. And I'm actually thinking about, I've heard that there is a possibility to become a teacher faster than before. It's a fast track to become a teacher. Something, and I want to work for many more years. So I'm thinking about becoming a teacher. And I think that was so fascinating to meet these two people within the exactly same situation, except from one was 48 and he thought he was too old, and the other one was 62 and she thought nothing about her age, except from she wanted to work for many more years. And it was so interesting to compare these two, and just to think about who is most fun to be a colleague to, a manager to, a partner to, a child to, a neighbor to, and who of these two have most fun themselves.
Exactly. My father started his last company when he was 63. Yeah, exactly. And then he ran that for almost 20 years before he passed away. So I mean, it's we have such a weird relation to years and ages as well. So, but I love that story as well. A comment here from Sarah. Thank you. Important questions. I'm very important. I have to go. But thank you, Sarah, for being part of the show. Sorry about that. See you. Come back next week and watch us me online as well. Everybody else out there, as I said, keep the questions coming. We're getting to the sort of kind of ending of the show here. The world's fastest half an hour, the Innovation Fika, and guests. So let's do this. Let's go to the take that one away and actually let's start talking about your top 3 tips then, because as all of our guests, Charlotta has graciously agreed to give us her top 3 tips regarding self-leadership. So sharpen your ears and bring out the notepads, because ladies and gentlemen, here comes Charlotta Oom's top 3 tips for self-leadership. And tip number 1 is be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
Surprise. No, but this is so important. I think I often meet people that are comparing themselves way too much. And especially with nowadays with social media, it's so easy to pick the perfect stuff from different kind of people. We see someone who on LinkedIn who seems to have just the most fun and most perfect work life. And then we pick someone who always seems to do so crazy, great trips together with their partner to crazy places. Then we see someone, the third person, who seems to be exercising all the time. The fourth person who seems to be like the perfect mother, perfect father, or always baking with the children and doing fun things. And so we pick these things, and then it's very hard to feel that I'm good enough, because that's how we work. So just try to be just your own and remind yourself of being yourself, because you can't be someone else.
Thank you, Charlotta. Wise words and a very, very good tip. And I love the whole thing, be yourself, because everyone else is taken. I love that one. Thank you. Tip number 2, be kind, always.
Whoa. I think especially during these past years with the pandemic and then the terrible war in Ukraine, I think this is more important than ever. And to remind yourself of that every single person you meet is fighting a struggle that you know nothing about. So be kind, always. So extremely important. Everybody
has a story to tell. I mean, completely.
Yeah. And sometimes you have big things in life. You might have someone close to you who is really ill or is even dying. Sometimes it can be that you have your back hurts when you're sleeping, so you're sleeping bad. I mean, it can be very different kind of levels, but it's really, really important to especially when working with and building a great team. It's very much about to be kind to each other and also know each other's strengths, but also know each other's weaknesses. And
very good. And tip number 3, very few things out there will actually kill you.
Yeah, this is what I like to tell young people when they are sort of trying to choose the way in their life, that just say yes. Say yes to most things, because there is, I mean, you can always do something different afterwards, and you don't. When I talk to young people thinking about what will I work with when I get older, and I have no idea and so on, just try to listen to your heart. Also listen to other people, what they say to you, not only your parents. Ask someone else, and not only your friends. Ask other people around you how they see you, and then start to make a picture of what you, and at the same time follow your heart, and just be brave and try different kind of things. I think it's amazing with that 62-year-old woman who decided to become a teacher when 62. I think that's fantastic. Try new things. Be curious.
And with that, she will probably be a very good teacher as well, with her life experience and her knowledge and everything like that. I mean, I read about, there was this article about a guy that joined the police force as a 42-year-old, and what difference it was that, you know, with his life experience and being a bit more mature, it was a big change as well. So I thank you so much for 3 fantastic, really good tips.
I must say, I often ask my clients when they are not sure of something. For example, I feel that maybe I could take that role as a manager, but I'm not sure. I don't have that much experience. I'm not sure. I got the question, but I'm not sure if I can do it. And just asking yourself the question, what's the worst that can happen? And then there is not very much that can kill you, for sure.
But that's such a good question, because I remember speaking to a friend, and he was talking about maybe moving abroad or trying to work abroad.
Yeah.
And it was he was like, well, what if it doesn't work? And what if we don't like it? And what if it doesn't work out? And I said, well, then you'll probably just come home again.
Yeah.
So what's that's not a big deal. So heck, go. If you have it, you try it. Go. Try it. Say yes, as you said. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for being such an inspiring person as well, Charlotta. I really appreciate you coming here and sharing as well some really top-notch tips, and also some very good reflections as well. I'm gonna.
And then I must also say, because sometimes often it's women who say yes to everything. So of course, listen to yourself and find your own limitations and what's okay for you. So, but I think you get it when I say yes to everything, that just try new things and be curious.
That's a really good add-on, because I think we need the courage to both say yes and no.
And no.
Because we need to stand up for ourselves and say, no, I don't want to do this anymore, or I'm not putting up with this. So this is not what I bought. This is not what I signed up for. And yes,
and that's self-leadership.
Yes, and that is self-leadership. Oh, look, it only took 30 minutes and I'm there. It's fantastic. Thank you. You see? So phone Charlotta, 30 minutes will change your life. We've proven it today. Here, I'm the proof in the pudding. Wonderful. Charlotta, thank you so very much. We are almost 3 o'clock on the nose. I will say thank you to you and everybody listening. As we've said, this will be recorded on YouTube. Go there and find it there. There'll be a short version on LinkedIn soon, by a couple of days. You find Charlotta on LinkedIn if you're looking for her. So check her out there, and also on all of the speaker agencies in Sweden. So check her out there. Book her, meet her, send her an email. Thank you for everything that she does in the world. Let's see here from Kevin. Thanks, Kevin. Great conversation. Thank you. Thank you for listening in, Kevin. And thank you, everyone else. And also from Henrik Albrus. Thank you both for an interesting chat. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. And as always, Wednesday afternoon, Innovation Fika, 2:30 p.m. in your screen, wherever you are. Check me out. Check us out. And Nick Bennett from England, UK. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. I'll see you in London in a month, Nick. So anyway, bye, everyone. Thank you again, Charlotta. And I'll see you soon again. Bye for now.
Bye.